how a small gesture for a dying grandmother went viral. In the summer of 2012, Brandon Cook was visiting with his grandmother. She was in the hospital in New Hampshire, and the prognosis was dire. Brandon's grandmother had pancreatic cancer and was down to her last few days. I didn't realize it, but pancreatic is perhaps the worst type of cancer. One of the horrible side effects of pancreatic cancer is that you get to the point where you can no longer eat. And here was Brandon watching his grandmother suffer, and he was pleading with her to have something to eat. After the consistent pleading, she looked up at Brandon and she said, "You know what?" She said, "I'd like to have some soup." But then she qualified her request. She said, but not the shit they serve here at the hospital. She wanted a bread bowl of clam chowder. Where can you go and reliably get a bread bowl of clam chowder? You get it at Panera. But here was the problem. This was the summer, and Panera only serves clam chowder on Fridays during the summer. And this was a Monday. But Brandon wasn't going to let that get in the way. And being the millennial he is, he simply picked up his phone, he searched, and he called the closest Panera in Nashua. Within 1 minute, he was speaking to Susan Fortier, the manager. Brandon explained the situation and his grandmother's wishes. And upon hearing the story, Stu stopped Brandon and said, "Brandon, stop, come on down. We'd be more than happy to help you and your grandmother." So Brandon drives the 10 minutes to Panera and meets Sue and the team. And they gave Brandon a couple of bread bowls of clam chowder. And as a little extra, they even threw in a small box of cookies for both of them to share. And Brandon returned to the hospital and had a wonderful lunch with his grandmother. For a short time, it sustained her. It made her happy. And driving home that afternoon, Brandon reflected on this small little act of kindness by Panera. And he decided he was going to do something about it. Now, how do we know that Brandon Cook is a good kid? Well, obviously he must be, because he took time out to visit his grandmother. He was also thoughtful because he filled her clam chowder request. But how do we know for sure? We can be 100% sure because Brandon is friends with his mom on Facebook, right? So he's got to be a good kid. So Brandon ends up writing about his experience on Facebook, and his mom, Gail, saw it and was so moved when reading it. She then copied the post and placed it on Panera's Facebook page. And that's when something amazing happened. In just a few weeks, a single Facebook post by Brandon Cook had garnered more than 800,000 likes and over 34,000 comments and scores of national media attention. I was the 801st person to like this post. Why? Because Panera empowered its employees to demonstrate warmth and competence by doing the little extra. I call these little extras purple goldfish. And these little actions speak louder than words.